Caspian's first love died because of me, and he hated me for 10 years because of it. Even when I was dying of illness, he didn't forgive me. Reborn. On the day when the incident happened, I decided to help them and die in place of his first love. Fortunately, I didn't die and took the opportunity to fake my death and disappear. I started a new life and put Caspian behind me. 2 years later, Caspian accidentally saw my photo and found out that I was still alive. It was said that he went crazy on the spot. After 10 years of marriage, Caspian finally found a substitute for his first love. She was a female college student, just with a face that was 6 points similar to Aurora's. She drove Caspian crazy and he doted on her to the sky. The female student's family was poor, so Caspian sponsored her to go to school. When the female student needed an internship, Caspian arranged for her to be his assistant, and the two were always together. Caspian had promised me that on my 35th birthday, he would go for a walk on the beach with me. We hadn't been to the beach together for over 10 years. Since Aurora died in the sea. On my birthday, I put on lipstick to cover up the pale and sickly color of my lips. Then I used exquisite clothes to wrap my emaciated body. I waited at the beach for a whole day, but Caspian didn't even make a single phone call. I sat there until nightfall, and then he asked his secretary to tell me that something had come up suddenly and he couldn't make it. From memory, I found the female student's Weibo. She posted a photo, and in the corner, a hand was visible. It was clearly Caspian's. As soon as he heard that I had dysmenorrhea, he immediately dropped his work and came running over. He even cooked porridge for me himself. Uncle is so sweet. So cute. The tumor in my brain was pressing on the nerves, and the pain made it impossible for me to straighten my back. I was about to be free. I smiled silently at the sea. Aurora, I'm about to pay for your life. Caspian didn't get home until early morning. He glanced at me on the sofa and said indifferently, "Why aren't you asleep yet?" "Caspian, I have something to tell you." "I know what you're going to say." He slowly untied his tie. Even though he was already 35 years old, Caspian still kept in good shape, and every move of his showed the charm of a mature man. No wonder he could attract a 20-year-old female student. I was indeed at my assistant's place tonight. She wasn't feeling well today, and there was no one around her. I thought it wasn't easy for her as a girl, so I went to visit her. "I'll accompany you to the beach another day." "That's not it." He was a bit surprised. "Then what is it?" I was thinking about how to tell him. Caspian guessed again. "A birthday present?" "I asked my secretary to give it to you, right?" "It's not that either." Caspian's patience ran out. "Amara, I'm very tired today. If you have something to say, just say it directly. Don't beat around the bush and waste time. I'm in the late stage of brain cancer." I pushed the diagnosis report in front of him. I had thought of 100 ways to tell him, but in the end, none of them were used. Caspian couldn't believe it and repeatedly read the report. The room was terribly quiet. Is this true? Could a top-tier hospital fake it? Finally, Caspian had a bit of an emotional fluctuation towards me other than impatience. But it was just for a moment. He quickly composed himself, put down the report and said, "It's getting late. Let's rest." "Is that all you want to say?" When disappointment accumulates too much, it turns into a breakdown. "Caspian, I'm dying. This might be the last birthday of my life." He stopped in his tracks and let me throw pillows and cups at him. He didn't resist or dodge. When I calmed down, he wiped the water off his face and showed a cruel smile. "Amara, tell me, isn't this karma?" I was suddenly stunned. Then I heard him say the second half of the sentence, "The karma for you indirectly killing Aurora." Caspian dropped this sentence and went into his own bedroom. The door slammed shut heavily, cutting off all my slim hopes, but I knew that Caspian was right. Aurora's death was related to me. Before the age of 22, the three of us, Caspian, Aurora, and I, were always together and could be called an iron triangle, but strictly speaking, I was the one who didn't fit in the best. Both Aurora's family and Caspian's family were wealthy. They had received elite education since childhood and had a lot of common topics. However, since Aurora regarded me as her best friend, I had a place among them. Later, just like all the cliched love triangles, I fell in love with Caspian, but Caspian only had eyes for Aurora. My secret love was insignificant. On Aurora's 22nd birthday, I suggested celebrating it at sea. Coincidentally, she had a small private yacht that hadn't been used yet. Aurora thought the suggestion was good and cancelled the reservation at the high-end club temporarily. The birthday party was changed to be held at sea. The party lasted for several days. At first, everything was peaceful, but on the third day, an accident happened. The yacht suddenly malfunctioned and seawater flooded in. It was estimated that it would sink within 20 minutes. There were 17 people on the boat and 2 lifeboats with a maximum capacity of 16 people. Someone had to stay behind and wait for the subsequent rescue. For the sake of fairness, Aurora suggested drawing lots to decide who that person would be. Unfortunately, I was the unlucky one. After everyone got on the lifeboat, Aurora suddenly snatched the lot from my hand. Amara, you go first. No, I'm the one who drew the lot. You're so silly. Aurora smiled at me. As the campus belle, she really looked beautiful when she smiled. I can swim, but you can't. So you go first. I can hold on a bit longer than you. No. If you're staying, I'll stay with you too. Don't cause me any trouble. Maybe by the time you reach the shore, I'll have swum there too. Without allowing any further argument, Aurora pushed me onto the lifeboat. She then turned to look at Caspian and said, "Take good care of her." That was the last sentence Aurora left us. As soon as our lifeboat left, a storm came. The extreme weather slowed down the speed of the rescue team. By the time they arrived, the private yacht had completely sunk. Aurora couldn't be saved. The rescuers found her body among the wreckage of the sunken ship. Caspian had originally planned to confess his love to Aurora after returning to land. He had even prepared gifts and flowers. But his beloved first love was forever left in the sea. Since then, Caspian began to hate me. If I hadn't persuaded Aurora to go out to sea in the first place, she wouldn't have died. If it hadn't been for that, it would have been me who died. Later, when Caspian saw my diary and learned about my secret love for him, he sneered and taunted, "Like me? Are you worthy?" Even so, a week later, Caspian suddenly came to propose to me with a diamond ring, and he made a huge show of it. The photos went viral online. Everyone said that they had never seen such a big diamond ring. They also said that the childhood sweetheart story of the prince and the Cinderella was really charming. But they didn't know. In reality, the prince's eyes had never lingered on the Cinderella. Caspian married me purely because of Aurora's last words. He did take good care of me. However, he didn't love me. Caspian had never cheated on me. It seemed that he was trying to put Aurora's spirit at ease in heaven. He managed to maintain the relationship with me as husband and wife for 10 years. Until this substitute appeared, Caspian's heart was reignited. My illness became more and more serious. Caspian never came to the hospital to see me. He was busy with his career, busy accompanying his little assistant. On the TV in the ward, a charity dinner was being broadcast live. Caspian attended in formal attire, followed by that assistant named Autumn. Autumn had put on exquisite makeup and looked even more like Aurora. My gaze paused when I saw the necklace on her neck. That was Aurora's necklace, when we were 20 years old. Just because I said, "This necklace is really beautiful," Aurora took it off directly and gave it to me. Only later did I learn that her brother had spent millions to buy it at an auction. Aurora said, "What are millions? Amara is my best friend. She deserves it." After she died, I sealed the necklace in a jewelry box and couldn't bear to open it. Now, how could Caspian put it on someone else without permission? With my last breath, I dialed the phone. "What's the matter?" A cold voice came. "I'm busy today. Call me later, no one can replace her." I rudely interrupted Caspian. No matter what he was busy with, I mustered all my strength and said word by word, "No one can replace Aurora." "Caspian, you're offending her." Caspian was stunned for a long time. I was so tired. After hanging up the phone, I closed my eyes completely. On the day I died, there was a violent storm. It was so similar to the day Aurora died. Amara, do you like Caspian? The familiar sweet and soft voice pulled my consciousness back. I was reborn. 22-year-old Aurora was sitting in front of me, with a bright smile on her face. Don't deny it. What kind of relationship do we have? You can't hide it from me. Seeing that I was in a daze, she added, did I guess right? Don't worry. I'll create some alone time for you two tonight. Make good use of it. I excitedly stepped forward and hugged Aurora tightly. She had that familiar fragrance of jasmine on her. She was alive. Amara, what's wrong with you? Who bullied you? Tell me, and I'll avenge you. Nothing. Before I could finish my words, the alarm suddenly went off. The yacht is malfunctioning. Everyone, please gather on the deck immediately. Immediately. Oh no. Not again. I had just been reborn. Everyone gathered uneasily at the bow of the ship. The yacht had already tilted, and the stern began to sink. And at this time, the weather was getting worse. Just like in the previous life, we were going to draw lots to decide who would wait for the rescue. I took a deep breath and snatched the short lot first. It's me. You don't need to draw lots. Except for Aurora, everyone else breathed a sigh of relief and quickly jumped onto the lifeboat. At this moment, I noticed that Caspian was a bit strange. In the previous life, he was the one who directed and arranged for everyone to get on the lifeboat in an orderly manner. But now, he was just standing there blankly, his eyes dull. He was pushed by others before he managed to squeeze onto the lifeboat. It was as if he had lost his soul. Forget it. Never mind him. I clenched the short lot in my hand and counted down 3 seconds. Sure enough, Aurora rushed over to snatch my lot. I had predicted it correctly and dodged her. What are you doing? I pretended to be surprised and asked. She said, Amara, let's swap. You go this time, and I'll stay and wait for the rescue. I can swim and can hold on better than you. I shook my head. No, since I drew it, it's my fate. What nonsense are you talking? Don't you remember that I have a swimming coach certificate? You go first. Maybe by the time you reach the shore, I'll have swum there too. Thank you, Aurora. In my last life, I didn't even have time to say thank you. This time, I finally got to say it. Why are you suddenly thanking me? Aren't we the best of friends? Of course. Then please stay alive. Aurora looked confused. On the contrary, Caspian, who was behind, had his pupils suddenly contract after I said that. It was as if he had come back to life in an instant and stared at me without blinking. The next second, I pushed Aurora onto the lifeboat. This time, it was my turn to die. I felt relaxed and sank towards the stern of the ship. But then I heard Caspian shouting heartbreakingly on the sea. Amara, how strange. Did he ever call me like that in the previous life? I turned around and met his desperate and broken eyes. That wasn't the look in the eyes of 22-year-old Caspian. It was the look of 35-year-old Caspian. Caspian was also reborn. I closed my eyes calmly. So what if we were reborn? The ending was already set. Caspian, I don't owe you anything anymore. My body sank deeper and deeper into the sea. In the bottomless darkness, a beam of light suddenly lit up my world. Time flew by. 2 years had passed since I was reborn. I was walking on the campus in the UK, looking down and replying to messages. Aurora, ding dong, your baby will arrive in London tomorrow /cool.jpg. Me, I'm always ready to pick you up /cool.jpg. Aurora, I'll bring you spicy strips. Me, miss, you're my goddess. A foreign classmate beside me asked, Amara, what makes you so happy? I couldn't help but smile. Having narrowly escaped death, how could I not be happy? No one would have thought that I was still alive. That shipwreck 2 years ago, when I was sinking into the sea along with the yacht, suddenly a small lifeboat appeared. It cut through the fog and waves and rushed towards me at high speed. I didn't know what happened after that. When I woke up from the coma, I was already lying in a hospital abroad. There was a familiar face beside me. Handsome and outstanding, with somewhat cold-looking facial features. Awake? The doctor said you're out of danger. After being slow to react for a moment, I finally remembered who this person was. Silas. The brother who was strict and rigid in temperament but was willing to spend millions to buy a necklace for Aurora. Was it you who saved me? Yes. Silas gave a brief explanation. On the day of the accident, when he detected that the weather at sea was changing, he immediately sent out a lifeboat just in case. Unexpectedly, he really saved me. I was very grateful, but also a bit confused. Did this happen in my previous life? Before I could figure it out, Silas got up and left. By the way, I haven't told anyone about saving you for the time being, including Aurora. He paused slightly and looked at me. I thought you might have your own plans. According to Silas, everyone thought I was dead. Aurora even locked herself at home, neither eating nor drinking, crying all day long. Caspian hired people to salvage my body. He spent a lot of money and wouldn't give up until he found the body. But in the end, he only found my bracelet. That was the birthday gift Caspian gave me in the second year of high school. Since the day I got it, I had never taken it off. Caspian held the bracelet and knelt on the salvage ship, crying. On the day I was discharged from the hospital, I decided to tell Aurora that I was alive. After learning about it, Aurora flew to the UK, hugged me, and burst into tears. We agreed that she would keep it a secret for me and just pretend that Amara was dead. Aurora was very tight-lipped. 2 years had passed, and apart from my family, only the siblings of the Aurora family knew of my existence. I thought that this narrow escape from death was the real rebirth. I changed my name and cut off my original waist-length long hair. In the past, Caspian said that he liked girls with long black straight hair. So I had never changed my hairstyle since then. In this brand new life, I wanted to live for myself. As a science and engineering major girl, the UK had the university I had always dreamed of, Imperial College London, which ranked 10th in the world. I stayed here, working part-time while studying. Silas wanted to help me. He said, "You don't have to work so hard. I'll provide you with a house and you can focus on applying for a master's degree." I shook my head. "Thank you, but I want to rely on myself. You've already helped me too much." He sighed softly. Back and forth, I also developed some friendship with Silas. Once I asked, "Why are you willing to help me for free?" "Because you're Aurora's best friend." This answer was flawless. Finally, I successfully got admitted to the Graduate School of Imperial College London and returned to campus. After graduating from university, Aurora worked in her family's company and had a rather easy job. She would fly to London to find me from time to time. The young lady could obviously stay in the penthouse suite of a 5-star hotel. But she just wouldn't. Every time she had to squeeze into my single dormitory. We chatted together, watched dramas, and shared gossip, just like we used to. To my surprise, she and Caspian didn't end up together. Instead, they drifted further and further apart. When I asked about it, Aurora said firmly, "Although I don't know what the conflict is between you and Caspian, I have a principle. The person my best friend hates is my lifelong enemy. My best friend can't be wrong. Even if she's wrong, then the wrong has to be right." I was amused by her words. Then, Aurora added, "But classmate Amara, I think you might be mistaken. It seems that Caspian doesn't like me at all." "He likes you." "That's impossible." "But he's so obsessed now, all because of you." Aurora muttered in a low voice, "Since your accident, he's always been saying things that I don't understand, like, 'I'm wrong, please come back, I'll never go to the little assistant again,' and so on." Another time, I bumped into him kneeling in front of your portrait, talking to himself and crying so sadly. Following my wishes, my family and Aurora held a funeral for me. I smiled awkwardly and changed the topic. "How long are you planning to stay this time?" "To accompany you for your birthday. I'll leave half a month later." We huddled under the quilt, chatting from variety shows to idol chasing. In the end, neither of us knew who fell asleep first. Early the next morning, I was woken up by Aurora's scream. "Amara, I'm so sorry." Amara was actually my nickname. Everyone was used to calling me that, so I didn't ask them to change it. "What's wrong?" I asked. "Caspian." Caspian saw our photo together. Yesterday, Aurora was sharing pictures of delicious food in the class group chat. By accident, she clicked on a photo of her and me and sent it. After realizing it, she withdrew it in time, thinking that no one had seen it. However, unexpectedly, some busybodies quickly saved the picture and forwarded it to Caspian. Caspian went crazy immediately and called Aurora countless times. Aurora slept like a log and didn't hear a single ring. When she woke up, there were hundreds of messages from Caspian on her WeChat. The last one said that he had already set off for the UK. What should we do now? Aurora asked, on the verge of crying. Let's deal with problems as they come. I get it. You mean I should find some thugs to beat him back? Why don't you just hire a hitman instead? That works too. Miss, I was just joking. Jokes aside, Caspian really came. The photo was taken near the school. Through the buildings, it was easy for Caspian to figure out that the location was Imperial College London. Originally, I was quite confident. The campus was so big. How could he possibly find me? But I forgot that I shouldn't make hasty assumptions. On Thursday, I was holding a stack of materials and was about to rush to the laboratory. When I walked around a corner, I bumped into someone head-on. Sorry. A familiar voice rang out. There was no time to run at all. I looked up and saw Caspian. I hadn't seen Caspian for 2 full years, and his appearance had changed quite a bit. He looked more composed than before, but also seemed to have more on his mind. At this moment, I was extremely grateful that I had wrapped myself up tightly. I was wearing a hat, and I even used a scarf to cover the part below my eyes. The materials fell all over the floor. I bent down to pick them up without saying a word. Caspian stared blankly at my eyes. Did he notice something? I quickly gathered my things and slipped away as fast as I could. I thought I had escaped. The next day, there was a theory class. The WeChat group created by the Chinese students in the class was unusually lively. Who's that guy in the last row? I've never seen him before. I don't know. Maybe he's auditing the class. Is there anyone who would audit our boring major? He's kinda handsome. I curiously looked back. Why was it Caspian? It seemed that he saw me too. Our eyes met for a moment, and I quickly turned my head away. I prayed in my heart that he wouldn't be able to see my face clearly. However, throughout the whole class, that burning gaze never left my back. When the class was over, I was the first to rush out of the classroom. I thought I could escape Caspian's pursuit like this. But unexpectedly, he was even faster than me. Downstairs in the teaching building, he called out to me, "Classmate, don't you want your student ID card?" I stopped in my tracks and felt in my pocket. Oh, it was really there. Probably when we bumped into each other yesterday, the student ID card fell out, and I didn't notice. He had picked it up. His leather shoes stepped on the marble floor, making a soft yet heart-pounding sound. The photo on this is really nice, he said. Classmate Amara, don't you think so? Now that things had come to this point, there was no point in avoiding it anymore. Caspian had already been sure that it was me. That's why he was able to find the classroom so accurately. I turned around and snatched the student ID card from his hand. To correct you, my name is Amara. I love myself. What about the old Amara? She's dead. He looked at me in silence. The weather in the UK is changeable, and at this moment, a drizzly rain began to fall. Caspian's eyes were like the current weather, misty. You were also reborn, right? He asked softly. Yes. Just to avoid seeing me, you don't even want the name Amara anymore? Yes, I don't want it anymore. Caspian's eyes gradually turned red. Why? I hate you. Is that reason enough? God punished me by making me experience your death twice. I was in such heart-wrenching pain. Finally, today. Yes, of course it is. I was an asshole before and I hate myself too. But Amara, even if you hate me, don't hide from me, okay? I gave him a strange look. Are you crazy? Why are you pretending to be so deeply in love here? You can say whatever you want, as long as you're happy. Caspian walked up to me, grabbed my hand, and wanted to put it on his chest. Amara, it was too late when I realized that I loved you deeply. Before he could finish his words, I pulled my hand out and slapped him directly. Come to your senses. I don't love you anymore. Caspian's head was turned aside by my slap, and he didn't come back to his senses for a long time. I didn't hold back my strength. A red mark slowly appeared on his face. Caspian had always lived a pampered life and had never been slapped before. He touched his face and smiled. It was actually a satisfied smile. Just consider it as Amara being willing to touch me. Aurora was right. He had gone mad. Did it make you feel better? If not, you can slap this side of my face too. He even took the initiative to offer his face. I took a step back in disgust. Don't disgust me. Disgust? Caspian was stunned for a moment. Do you think I'm disgusting? It's disgusting to the extreme. Then could you please bear with it and let me finish what I want to say? No, I don't want to listen. Just at this moment, my savior appeared. I looked at the Maybach driving towards us in the rain and let out a sigh of relief. I'm leaving. My boyfriend is here to pick me up. Boyfriend? Caspian was instantly stunned. Following my gaze, a man got out of the car and opened a black umbrella. I happily hid under his umbrella and didn't give Caspian another look. Caspian's face darkened. He knew this man. It was Silas. The Aurora family had business in the UK, so Silas had been in London a lot in recent years. Before the class was over, I had a premonition that the situation would become tricky. So I sent a message to Silas in advance, asking him to come and help me out of the situation. Silas came at just the right time. Thank you just now. It's the least I could do. Has Aurora staying with you affected your studies? No. It seems that she's going to France today. Silas drove me to the supermarket to buy some things before we returned to the dormitory. There was no one in the dormitory corridor. Then I'll go in first. I waved to Silas, but suddenly, he pulled me into his arms and kissed me passionately. The voice-activated light went out. In the darkness, I carefully responded to his kiss. I don't know how long it had been, but when I was almost out of breath from the kiss, Silas finally let me go a little bit and said, "When are we going to tell Aurora about our relationship?" I whispered, "Let's wait a bit longer." He looked aggrieved. Am I that embarrassing to introduce to others? No. Our words were drowned in the next long kiss. Silas and I had been together for only half a month. Looking back now, it still felt unreal. That day, he calmly asked me if I wanted to try dating him. Looking at his outstanding face, I nodded as if possessed by something. After calming down, I regretted it a little. After all, Silas was the older brother of my best friend. Wouldn't it be, not so good? Noticing my hesitation, Silas immediately asked, "Do you still like Caspian?" Of course not. Then give it another try. I'm a nice person, no worse than anyone else. Give it a try, and you won't lose anything. What he said made sense. There was no need for me to stay single for the rest of my life because of a scumbag. Silas was really nice, gentle and considerate. However, when we were together, I still felt a bit awkward. I was polite to him, and so was he. Only when the lights were off like this did we dare to embrace each other. Silas kissed me so passionately that the plastic bag in my hand fell to the ground, making a dull, thud sound. Is Amara back? Aurora's voice suddenly rang out. She happily ran to the door and opened it. The alarm bells went off in my head, and I quickly pushed Silas away. Silas wasn't prepared and was pushed against the wall by me, letting out a muffled groan. He must have been hurt from the impact. I looked at him apologetically. Brother, why are you here? Aurora asked curiously. I happened to meet her, and your brother took me to the supermarket. I changed the subject. What about you? Didn't you say you were going to France today? Don't mention it. There's a strike in France, so I cancelled my flight. Silas said, then you two chat. I still have work to do, so I'll leave first. After closing the door, Aurora looked me up and down. Amara, what's wrong with your mouth? It's so red. I touched it guiltily. I ate something spicy on the way just now. Ha! That's the consequence of eating delicious food without me. Your Highness is absolutely right. By the way, I've felt that my brother has been a bit strange lately. What's wrong? It seems that he's in a relationship. My hand trembled, and the water I was pouring spilled out. Is there any evidence? Yes. Look. He used to hardly post anything on Moments for half a year, but recently he's been posting so frequently, and the things he posts are so meaningless. He took pictures of a dog on the roadside, a wild flower, and even said something like, "The moon is so beautiful." It's obvious that he has someone he likes. Detective Aurora swiped through her phone and analyzed it with me one by one. She didn't notice that Silas had sent me a message. Silas, it hurts. From the bump just now? I'm sorry. It's all my fault. I was too nervous. Silas, pitiful puppy.jpg. Silas was usually a very restrained and rigid person. Occasionally acting cute like this, the contrast was really strong. Silas, I want compensation/twiddling my fingers. Okay, I'll definitely compensate you next time. Amara, Aurora stopped and looked at me suspiciously. Who are you messaging? You've been smiling foolishly at the screen. I just saw a cute puppy. I tried my best to change the topic, even revealing something about myself. I met Caspian today. Sure enough, she forgot about Silas. Really? Did he see you? I roughly told her about it, but left out the part about Silas. Aurora clicked her tongue. He's really gone crazy now. Next time, don't hit him yourself. I'm afraid he'll enjoy it. Aurora was right. Caspian was really crazy now. That night, just as I was about to fall asleep, the dormitory group chat suddenly exploded. There's a guy kneeling downstairs in building C all the time. Whose admirer is left outside like this? Someone took a picture and sent it to the group. The moment I saw Caspian, I almost fainted. It had been raining outside all the time. He was kneeling in the rain, looking haggard and pitiful. The dormitory building required access control to get in. Since he couldn't get in, he could only kneel there and wait for me to go downstairs. Actually, even if Caspian died by the roadside, I wouldn't bother to take a look. However, the circle of overseas students was so small. If I didn't stop him, this matter would spread out of London and reach Scotland tomorrow. I just wanted to study quietly and didn't want to be the heroine in a topic of gossip. I went downstairs full of anger. Caspian, how far do you want to make a scene? Caspian's eyes lit up. Amara. You're willing to come to see me? I sneered, so eager to see me? Yes. Why didn't you come to see me when I was dying of illness in my last life? His smile immediately disappeared. I'm sorry. Amara, I know I was wrong. Believe it or not, actually, in my last life, I fell in love with you a long time ago, but I didn't dare to face it, so I was so cold to you. Disgusting. Stop talking. Caspian stubbornly stopped me and continued, because I felt guilty. I felt guilty towards Aurora. Hearing Aurora's name, I stopped in my tracks. Amara, before Aurora died, she asked me to take good care of you. It was indeed because of this sentence that I married you. However, a few years after getting married, I realized that I had feelings for you. Caspian's voice was hoarse, like an old light bulb that was flickering. At that moment, I was so scared. I felt that I was sorry for Aurora. I deliberately distanced myself from you, brainwashed myself, and made myself numb. Later, when I met Autumn, who looked a lot like her, in order to prove that I was still deeply in love with Aurora, I treated Autumn even better. It seemed to me that I had heard the biggest joke in the world. It was so funny. If you loved me so much, why didn't you stay on the yacht for me? I was reborn a bit later than you. When I opened my eyes, what I saw was the scene of you pushing Aurora towards the lifeboat. He was so annoyed. If only it had been a bit earlier, I would never have let you stay. I asked again, what about when I had brain cancer? He fell silent. After a while, he said guiltily, I'm sorry. At that time, I thought that the brain cancer was a lie you made up. Seeing that I wouldn't listen to anything he said, Caspian knelt down with a thud. Amara, give me another chance. I'll make it up to you properly. I shook my head impatiently. Caspian, we can only be strangers. I won't love you anymore, and I won't hate you either. Because hatred is also a very strong emotion, and you don't deserve it. Caspian's breath hitched. He was about to plead with me again when there was a noise coming from the stairwell. I opened the fire door and saw Aurora standing there. She was probably afraid that Caspian would do something to me, so she hid here, wanting to protect me. But at this moment, her face was pale. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. After I said it was okay, Aurora forced a smile. Can I ask a few questions? Go ahead. Was everything you just said true? Yes, it's true. In the previous life, was it me who died? Yes. Did I ask him to take care of you? Yes. Then, you died of brain cancer? Before you died, he was with my substitute. Yes. Aurora was trembling all over. The next second, she rushed forward and slapped Caspian hard. How the fuck could you treat Amara like that? The slap didn't ease her anger. She grabbed Caspian's collar, almost going crazy, with every word full of anger and grief. Why did you treat her like that? Answer me. Using my name to hurt her. How dare you, how dare you? Just because of your worthless love? It's so ridiculous. Caspian, in my heart, you're not even worth one of my best friend's fingers. Caspian didn't resist. He looked at me despairingly. It seemed that he still hoped that I would show him some pity. I finally understand why Amara didn't want to see you. Aurora kicked him away. Caspian, you really don't deserve it. She took my hand and resolutely went upstairs. That outburst just now seemed to have used up all of Aurora's strength. After returning to the room, she leaned against me and didn't say a word. I don't know how long it had been, but then she asked, did it hurt? What? The brain tumor. It must have hurt a lot, right? Aurora suddenly burst into tears. Amara, did you suffer a lot? My tears welled up and flowed out. To be honest, since my first death, I hadn't cried. No sad thing was worth my tears. However, I don't know why. Hearing Aurora say that, I couldn't hold back my tears anymore. That's what good friends are like. She could always see through my grievances and pains at a glance. No matter how much I pretended, in front of her, I couldn't hide anything. I didn't answer, and Aurora didn't ask again. She gently patted me, as if it was a belated comfort. It doesn't hurt anymore, Amara, it won't hurt anymore. The next day, Aurora took me to have a physical examination. The doctor said that I was currently in good health. I told her not to worry. In my previous life, the doctor said that my illness was caused by being too angry and always unhappy. Now I'm very happy and have a fulfilling life every day, so I won't get sick again. On the way home, Aurora made a wish to the turtles in the pool. I asked, what are you doing? Sure. I made a wish for you. What wish? I hope my best friend can be as healthy and long-lived as these turtles. I was a bit touched and also a bit angry. What was going on? Since learning about the things in the previous life, Aurora had also changed. She was no longer only focused on shopping and having fun. She went back to China and started working seriously, getting involved in the family business. She said that she wanted to gradually take over Caspian's company to avenge me. Aurora was quite like her brother. She learned things quickly and was decisive in her methods. Caspian was in a bind as she targeted him everywhere and didn't have time to bother me for a while. So I was able to have a peaceful period of time. Before I knew it, Christmas arrived. I had made an appointment to spend it with Silas. When we talked about Aurora's recent situation, I said, don't you care about your sister? No need to. It's just right for her to practice on the Caspian family's company. I almost spat out the water I was drinking. In Silas's eyes, Caspian was just someone for her to practice on. To be honest, even if Aurora didn't deal with him, I would. Why? He just annoys me. Lost in thought, Silas leaned over and kissed me. Don't think about him anymore. I'm not thinking about him. I stopped liking him a long time ago. Be good. Touch my abs. If you don't, my efforts in working out will be wasted. It was snowing heavily outside. The atmosphere indoors became more and more ambiguous. This was the first night that Silas and I spent together. It was not until midnight that we were exhausted and ready to go to sleep. Just as I was starting to feel sleepy, suddenly I heard the sound of fingerprint unlocking. Surprise! Amara! I've come to spend the holiday with you. Aurora dragged her suitcase and appeared at the door. I put on my clothes and walked out of the bedroom. Why didn't you tell me you were coming? I almost couldn't hide your brother. To give you a surprise? Here, a Christmas present for you. Then how did you get in? Someone just swiped their card to open the door, and I followed them in. Aurora and I exchanged gifts. I bought her the new smart glasses that she had been talking about recently. I queued up all night to get them on the first day of the release. Aurora put on the glasses and was so excited. After studying them for a while, she planned to take a rest. I'm so tired. I just finished work and caught the latest flight. Luckily, I made it in time for Christmas. Aurora lifted her feet and walked towards the bedroom. I'm going to catch up on my sleep now. Wait a minute. I nervously looked at the big wardrobe and stopped her. Girl, you've lost a lot of weight. Work makes one lose weight. But don't worry about me. When I take over Caspian's company, I'll give you shares. She took off her coat and wanted to hang it in the wardrobe. I quickly grabbed her. Give it to me. I'll hang it for you. Oh, okay. Why do I feel like you're a bit nervous? Because your brother is in the wardrobe. The president of the Aurora family now huddled in my small wardrobe. I helped Aurora hang up her coat and she was about to open the wardrobe door again. Suddenly a knock on the door interrupted her movement. Both of our attention was drawn to the door at the same time. Who would come at this late hour? This was a student dormitory and usually wouldn't be outsiders. So there was no peephole on the door. I just opened the door directly. Caspian was standing outside holding gifts and roses. Aurora rolled her eyes. You're like a persistent ghost. What do you want now? Caspian ignored her and just looked at me and said, Merry Christmas, Amara. Here's a gift for you. He held a doll in his hands and carefully observed my reaction. It was a doll that I had wanted very much before. It was released in a limited quantity every Christmas. It wasn't expensive, but it was very hard to buy. I knew that Caspian was acquainted with its designer. However, he had never given it to me before. Instead, after Autumn showed up, he gave one to her. You used to like it very much. Do you still like it now? Caspian asked carefully. I replied, I stopped liking it a long time ago. He looked disappointed. It doesn't matter if you don't like it. Just take it first. Maybe one day, you'll like it again. That's impossible. I pushed him out. Take the roses away too. You're not welcome here. Amara, I know that the thing about your boyfriend was a lie you told me. What? You deliberately said you had a boyfriend just to be angry with me. I understand it all. It was kind of funny. Where did he get such confidence? Hearing this, Silas inside the room couldn't hold it in anymore. He took the initiative to walk out of the bedroom and said unhappily, Who are you saying is fake? Mr. Caspian, please respect yourself and don't harass my girlfriend anymore. Now, not only was Caspian surprised, but even Aurora's eyes widened in shock. 10 minutes later. The two men left one after another. Only Aurora and I were left in the room. We looked at each other in surprise. To be exact, Miss Aurora was a bit angry and didn't want to talk to me. I was quick to admit my mistake. If you mind that I'm with your brother, I'll break up with him right now. Love was nothing compared to our friendship that had lasted for so many years. I thought Silas would understand if I made him feel wronged a little. I'm not angry about that. Aurora folded her arms. I'm angry that we have such a good relationship, yet you didn't tell me? And my brother, I'm his only younger sister. His own sister, and he actually ran away with my best friend? How can I bear that? Don't blame him. I didn't let him tell you. Amara, didn't we agree that we should share with each other when we have someone we're interested in? I sighed, it's my fault. I'm afraid that I won't be able to stay with your brother for long. Why? Isn't he nice to you? I'll go beat him up right now. No. No. He's very nice. It's precisely because he's too nice. Silas had told me that he had never been in a relationship before and that I was his first love. He said that he was serious and was aiming for marriage. Marriage, what a heavy word. I told Aurora dejectedly, I was married once, to Caspian. You know the final result too. Amara, are you scared? Aurora saw through me at a glance. Yes, I don't think I'm ready yet, and I don't know how to face your brother. In case we break up one day, you'll be in an awkward position in the middle. So, I thought it wouldn't be too late to tell you after I've thought it through. I see. Aurora quickly let it go. Come to think of it, I've always thought that my brother has been a bit strange in recent years. What's wrong? Don't you think the timing of him sending out the lifeboat was too coincidental? Also, he invested in a project abroad, and it seems to be in the research direction of brain tumors. What? I was a bit stunned. A bold idea came to my mind. Aurora and I happened to think the same thing, damn. Was he also reborn? I decided to go to Silas and ask him clearly. It was the first time I went to his residence in the UK. The password was my birthday. It seemed that Silas wasn't at home. The study door was open, and I was immediately attracted by the dense materials on the wall. They were all about the research on brain cancer, how to prevent it, how to treat it. In the center of the materials, there was my photo pasted. It was a photo that Aurora took for me during the freshman sports meeting. I was smiling and making a victory sign after running the 100-meter race. There was a piece of paper hanging under the photo filled with every little detail about me. She likes looking at the sea, but after Aurora's death she became afraid of the sea. She likes a certain brand's rabbit doll which has a limited edition released every Christmas, but she has never got one. She was diagnosed with cancer at the age of 34. Try to make her happy and often take her for physical examinations. Every word was filled with deep and intense love. My once dark and gloomy life had actually been carefully treasured by someone. Silas didn't know when he came to the door of the room. I knew I couldn't hide it from you. I turned to look at him. So, you're also in your second life? He nodded. I was reborn on the day of the shipwreck and immediately sent out the lifeboat. Fortunately, I made it in time. When Silas learned that the person he rescued was me, he vaguely determined that I was the same as him. Silas, I never knew before that you had feelings for me. He smiled. At that time, you only had Caspian in your heart and just regarded me as the older brother of a friend. I wasn't even considered a friend. I was afraid that if I confessed and was rejected, you would even avoid Aurora. Indeed, in my previous life I had very few interactions with Silas. And usually, after I rejected someone, I would block and avoid that person. When did you fall in love with me? He pointed at that freshman photo, before this. In other words, when I went to Aurora's house to play with my classmates in high school, he had already noticed me. In my impression, he always asked everyone politely, would you like some ice cream? Or some fruit? It turned out that his eyes were on me at that time. I was filled with mixed emotions and then remembered another thing. In the previous life, you never got married. Yes, it was because of you. Silas admitted frankly. After I died, he lived out the rest of his life alone. On the day he passed away due to old age, he was still holding an old hair tie in his hand. It was the one I left behind when I first went to Aurora's house to play. It was also the only keepsake I left for him. Silas said, if I had known that you didn't have a good life after getting married, I would have what? Would have taken you away. I looked into his clear eyes and was stunned for a long while. Silas, didn't you ever blame me? Blame you for what? For Aurora's death. The yacht wasn't damaged by you, and the storm wasn't caused by you either. It was Aurora who had the final say on whether to go out to sea or not. Why should I blame you? He rubbed my head comfortingly. I don't blame you. Aurora doesn't blame you, and you shouldn't blame yourself either. Don't blame yourself. Finally, someone said these 5 words to me. My nose tingled and I almost burst into tears again. Aurora once told me that their family was nouveau riche. Have you ever seen any educated people give their daughter such an unlucky name? My parents just thought Aurora sounded nice at that time and didn't even look it up in the dictionary before naming me. They suffered from being uneducated, so now they attach great importance to the education of my brother and me. Aurora didn't lie to me. Both of them were educated very well. Amara, I've been waiting for you for a very long time. Silas kissed me on the forehead, long enough to live out this life. Suddenly, I remembered his initial confession. Would you like to try dating me? It was so calm and restrained. However, love had already accumulated over the years in unseen places, converging into a rushing stream. One day, that stream finally came to me. It washed away my broken life and put the pieces back together one by one. Amara, thank you. Thank me for what? I choked up a little. Thank you for finally noticing me, Silas said contentedly. Time passed in a hurry. 2 years later, I successfully completed my postgraduate studies. At the graduation ceremony, as an outstanding graduate representative, I was invited to give a speech on stage on behalf of the whole college. The siblings of the Aurora family also came to attend my graduation ceremony. Aurora had changed a lot. She had already become an elite who could handle things independently and had the air of a general manager. The plan to acquire Caspian's company would also be completed this year. Several companies in the UK offered me job opportunities and invited me to stay, but I still chose to return to China. Using all that I had learned in my life to contribute to the construction of my motherland was my wish. After starting work, I met Caspian a few more times. Usually, it was due to work requirements or classmate reunions that I had to meet him reluctantly, until the last time we met. He asked, Amara, is there anything different about me? I glanced at him. I didn't notice. He was disappointed for a moment and said, I've lost weight, a lot of weight. Oh, right, I didn't really listen carefully to what he said. I'm getting married. He was immediately stunned. Getting married? Yes, Silas proposed to me, and I feel very happy. The wedding date is set for the second half of the year. It's said that when people feel happy, they can let go of a lot of things. That's how I was at that time. I didn't find Caspian as annoying as before when I looked at him. Do you want to come? I can send you an invitation. He forced a smile. Sure. At that time, I didn't know that he wouldn't be able to make it. He was ill and had less than half a year to live. The wedding between Silas and me was grand. Aurora was my bridesmaid. She was happier than anyone else. My good sister has become my sister-in-law. I don't have to worry about the relationship between sisters-in-law anymore. If she quarrels with my brother? Well, I'll definitely side with my sister. Nothing is more important than my sister. What's my brother? I don't know, I don't recognize him. Someone asked her if her relationship with her best friend was really that good. She smiled and said, we're friends through life and death, twice. What do you think? Later, Silas put a diamond ring on my finger. I said I do to Silas. Aurora couldn't help sighing with emotion below the stage. Before, I thought that no one was worthy of being my sister-in-law. Now I just want to say, Silas, what makes you so lucky? After the wedding, Caspian sent a gift through someone else. The middleman said that he had gone on a trip to a faraway place. He might never come back. I said, oh, then I wish him a pleasant journey. I pretended not to see his obituary. I end this world. Life is like a traveler on a long journey. Caspian has gone on his next journey. I'm also about to embark on a brand new life. However, I already have the person I love deeply and the best friend in the world. From now on, I won't be afraid of storms anymore. The end.